There's a lot of emotions happening right now. It was kind of hard for me not to notice the huge outrage and outcry that has been on the topic at hand, which is the death of physical game discs. It has been something that is not surprising if you were someone that followed the signs, the trends in the video game industry, or just the entertainment industry in general. How about I just say that? You would know that digital sales compared to physical sales have been completely, it's just there's a huge difference. And the difference has been getting bigger and bigger over the years, right? I should have wrote a script for this. I was actually going to sit on this and write a script. That way I don't go on a tangent and just start talking about all this other stuff like a madman. But I'm just going to wing it, and we're going to do it right here live. I don't know what to say. There's already a lot of people talking about it for good reason. So I feel like, everyone already has been beating the dead horse scroll by now, right? The dead horse, is that the analogy? The dead horse scroll analogy? Whatever. You know what I mean, right? So the what? Don't worry about it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I'm not surprised by the death of physical game discs. I'm not even angry because I knew it was coming. What I am feeling right now is sadness, because it's pretty much the equivalent of going to the doctor for a checkup, and then the doctor tells you that you have terminal illness and you only have less than 2 years to live. And that's pretty much what's happened. Sony was the doctor, and he basically told everyone, the Blu-ray, the Blu-ray disc, that you have cancer and that you only have less than 2 years to live. They put out a statement. Sony put out a statement that they are ending physical game discs, Blu-rays, right? They're ending it. Production. No more. There's a specific date. I haven't read the actual tweet. I have it up so we can just go through it right quick just to know exactly what they said. Because even I don't know exactly what they said. Sony owns Blu-rays too, so not even third party can make them. Yes, I know. I'm aware of that too. Like I've said, the signs and the trends were there over the years. Sony they created Blu-rays, right? They also created DVDs. I don't know if they created CDs. They probably did also, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, every time a disc is sold on an Xbox One, for instance, or an Xbox Series console, Sony gets a percentage of the sale of that game because, they own the Blu-ray factories and license and all that stuff, right? They created it. Again, I want to keep this focused. I'm winging it. I don't want to go off on a tangent and make this and talk about this for 2 hours, right? Because I can easily do that. So physical disc production ending January 2028 for new games releasing on PlayStation consoles. Okay. In response to shifting trends in customer and consumer preference, new games will be released on PlayStation Store at retailers in digital formats only. Okay, as consumer preferences and the broader entertainment industry continues to shift away from physical discs to digital, physical game disc productions for all new games releasing on PlayStation consoles will be discontinued starting January 2028. Do I even need to read on the rest of this? Probably not, right? It's probably just corporate speak from there on out. I'll just stop there for now. So you know what this means, right? This means that PlayStation 6 is going to be a digital-only console, right? That's what this means. We all knew that the Xbox Helix was more than likely going to be digital-only, especially because of the trend that they were going through with, it's kind of hard to go to a store nowadays, like a retail store, and find physical Xbox games for sale. I've like the 3 stores that I usually go to, they don't even sell physical Xbox game discs anymore. They phased them out. They don't even carry them. So that was already a big sign. And I guess now starting in 2028, January, same thing's going to happen with PlayStation. We're not going to be seeing that anymore. Which means the only physical games that you can buy is going to be from the Switch and Switch 2, right? Because Nintendo still makes Switch games, right? Right here. Metroid Dread, right? It's not well, don't worry about the GameStop freaking thing, but which, by the way, they're probably sweating in there. They're sweating right now. GameStop is sweating. This is going to be the only physical games you're going to be able to get from now on in 2028, starting 2028. I don't have a Switch 2 personally. I'm thinking about getting one before the price hike in September. If Switch 2's prices are going to increase. So I can't show you something to compare, I suppose, because I don't have any Switch 2 games, but they are slow. Nintendo is also slowly starting to phase out physical games as well, because they have a thing called game key cartridges, right? Or it's just a cartridge that has only a license in there. Just a license check to let the system know that, hey, you have license to play the game, right? Because that, in the end, that's what digital games are. They're just a license. When you buy a digital game and it says buy it now or buy it, you're buying the license, you're not buying the game. So they can easily just, in the snap of a finger, take it away. That's that. Then you won't have access to it anymore. Even if it's something as like a law was passed, or let's say there was a license thing in the game and then the video game developer no longer has access to that license, so they have to take the game down. That means you're screwed now too, because they took it down, right? Vika, hello, hola. Places like limited run games could then take over and make all the physicals. I'm going to assume you mean by Switch cartridge games, right? All zero, because limited run games would also be screwed when it comes to Blu-ray, right? If Sony shuts down all the factories, then they're screwed too, correct? See, this is also, again, this is why I wanted to write a script so I can stay focused at the topic at hand, but this isn't just screwing over video games. This is screwing over the movie entertainment industry too. Now, there are high rollers, there's people of power, I should say, in the movie industry that are speaking against getting rid of physical Blu-ray discs for movies, because, you know, that's a lot of, you know, of these directors, right? I'll just say these are like Steven Spielberg. I'm just going to say Steven Spielberg. When they make a movie, they see it as a work of art in a way, right? It is their art. So they want their art physical. They want it to exist physically. And this is the same thing applies to other directors and other people that work in the movie industry as well. They want to have a physical thing of their art, right? So with the way the industry is going, they want to be in control of everything. They are the higher beings in this industry, in the video game industry, the corporate, right? How about I just say the corporate entities? They want to control everything, and they don't want you owning anything. You will own nothing, and you will be happy about it, right? Hydrate, thank you. I actually need that. But Nintendo could stop carts from being made from places like limited game runs, because the carts aren't disc owned. So let's get back at the topic at hand. We'll leave the movie stuff out of it. They're going to be screwed though too, right? That's the trend that's happening all over the place. So what about this? You know what this is, right? This is a physical expansion add-on disk drive that you put onto a PlayStation 5 Pro or a PlayStation 5 Slim, right? Because the Slim is a digital only PlayStation 5. Unless you buy this, then you can snap it onto a digital PS5 Slim or a dickless PS5 Pro to give it the big girthy thing, right? What about people that bought this, you know, expecting to be able to buy physical games for the entirety lifespan of the PlayStation 5? Because when the PlayStation 6 comes out, and I'm going to assume it's going to come out sometime in 2028, and it's going to be digital only because Sony is no longer going to be making physical PlayStation 5 games. What about people that have this? They bought this, they can't use it anymore for the future games because there will be no more future games. Right? Save that for you. I mean, I have it for you, Ozero. You know, it'll work on games. Yeah, it's going to work on your backlog, right? There's so much repercussions that I don't think Sony realizes what they have done announcing this. I don't think they realize. I think Sony has lost the goddamn script, or they read the wrong goddamn script. They have been complacent. They have been making a lot of bad moves lately. Xbox has been making a lot of bad moves ever since Don Matrick on Xbox One. With Call of Duty, dogs, fish, movies, sports. That was already the turning point for Xbox. And they tried to steer the ship. And, you know, again, I'm going off on a tangent. It's focus. Sony's going to get sued up the ass. I'm just going to say that. People are going to be buying this disc thing to play physical games, and then 2028 rolls around and there's going to be no more physical games and people are going to be pissed. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of lawsuits. I don't know how bad it's going to get, but I'm pretty sure stuff like that's going to happen. Steam is going to be is going to have even more power. Steam by the, you know, the computer software storefront, right? They're going to have even more power. And let's just not go into that. If you don't own games, then pirating isn't illegal. Yeah. Let me just say this. If you're someone that collects video games, like me, right? I'm not a huge video game collector, but I do collect video games. I've been collecting a lot of my backlog games, or games that I owned growing up as a child, because when my house burned down, I lost all my video game collection, right? That I've had over while growing up. So I've been slowly rebuying everything that I once had, you know, for memories and just to recoup what I lost. And then I've been buying other games too that I want to eventually play. So I have, you know, around 500 plus video games. I haven't necessarily counted all of them, but it's easily around 500 plus video games. Maybe it's even more. No more than 600. There's no way I have more than 600. Anyways, get ready for physical games to skyrocket in cost. Get ready. I hope collectors are holding on to their asses. Both hands on both ass cheeks, because it's about to get really expensive. I don't know if the price hike, if the secondary market prices for used video games, physical used video games, are about to go, if they're going up already. If not, they're going to probably be going up as soon as people start realizing, oh, it's 2028 already. And it's going to get even more crazy because physical video games, older video games, are already expensive, and they're even going to be going more expensive. So if you're someone that's collecting video games, physical video games, you better start buying now what you want, because it's going to get a whole lot worse. A whole lot worse. If you're someone that doesn't have the capital, the money to buy these high-priced video games, you have another option, and that's called emulation. So if you have a computer, it doesn't even have to be a beefy computer. You just have a computer. I would recommend, because I am an expert, professional, non-professional, that doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about. I would recommend that you probably download as many of these emulation softwares that you can, and you start getting those ROMs. Because I have a feeling when 2028 rolls around and physical games are kaput, they're done for, dunzo, no more. These corporations, Sony, Microsoft, whatever, Nintendo, whatever. Nintendo's already been doing it every once in a while, but they're going to be going after all these emulations. I don't know the legal details. You know, there's loopholes that emulation softwares take to avoid getting sued and, you know, all that stuff, right? But they're going to find a way. Trust me. They're going to find a goddamn way to go after these emulation softwares, and they're going to try to take them down. There's literally no reason to own a console anymore. I know. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm saddened. I'm not angry. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised Pikachu face. You know, I'm not like that. I knew this was coming. But again, it's like going to the doctor and being told you have less than 2 years to live. We know we have a date of when physical game discs no longer going to exist, which is a huge deal. And you know, I think I heard the number being thrown around that 20% of sales, video game sales, are physical compared to digital, which takes up 80% of the sales, right? Because 80 plus 20 is 100. I went to school, right? 1 plus 1 is 11. We all know this. So 20% of the sales are physical. I'm actually shocked Sony is doing this right now. You know, I knew they were going to do it eventually, but it's always about all the money. They want all the money. That's like capitalism 101 corporations nowadays. All the money. Not some of it, not part of it, all the goddamn money. And they're going to be just leaving behind at least 20% of video game sales. Well, I will say, you know, I think it's a little unfair to say 20. I would say 10%. I'm going to say about out of those 20% of physical sales, 10% will probably be like, fuck it. I'll get digital. Screw it. Why not? You know, why not? I still want to play video games. Me personally, I go out of my way to get physical copies of games because I like to actually own physical copies of my games. I like to, it gives me a sense of value that I like. Here's something that I can enjoy, put on the shelf, and then I can look at it and be like, there it is. I have it. I owned it. I conquered it. Be able to take it out, put it in my system, and then play it. And then it holds value, right? It holds some sort of value. I can resell it later. Maybe the game becomes extremely rare, and then, you know, that's happened to me before. I've had a game, a PS4 game called it was a Dynasty Warrior game that was based off of Berserk. When the creator, the mangaki, when he passed away, that game shot up to like $250. I was strapped on cash at the time, and I didn't want to sell it, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to go in and just sell it because it's $250. So I sold it, you know, and I only paid like $50 for the game. I think it was like $49.99 that I bought the game for. Stuff like that. Now, to be fair, you know, that was someone died and, you know, sad, but things like that can happen with physical media in general. That can't happen with digital because you don't own it. Right? You don't own nothing. And I'm rambling a lot right now. But it's sad, you know? It is sad that coming January 2028, it's ending for physical game discs. Since I'm a collector, it's sad for me. Even though I would double dip also, I would buy digital. I will buy digital. I'm not going to say I'm anti-digital. I do buy digital stuff, but I also go ahead and buy the physical. So I double dip on most of everything. Not everything, but most of everything. If I really like the game, I'm like, I'm buying this, and I go buy it the next weekend, right? I just buy it digitally because it's just the convenience, all right? That's why people enjoy digital stuff. It's convenient. You just stay home. You don't have to drive to a store and be like, gee, I wonder if it's in stock, you know? Sometimes it's not even in stock. It'll be in stock at a certain time or the next day, or it's sold out. Hence why you wanted a pre-order. This is the reason why pre-orders existed, so that you can guarantee that you can get a physical game at midnight release. You know, when GameStop did all that. All that is all going away. And, you know, midnight releases have already been going away because of the digital stuff, right? It's convenient. You download it, you stay home, you click a button, boom, you have it, you preload it, it's ready to go, right? You can even go as far as changing your region if you wanted to. I gotta play it now. I gotta play it 10 hours earlier before every other dickhead. And you can change your video game, your region on the console, and then play it earlier, right? Because that's what it is. Only physical to own will be Switch 2 games. Yes. And even then, there's still the game key stuff. So not all. I can guarantee you that if Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth were both physical on a cartridge, I would have bought a Switch 2 already. But the game keys is you know, the elephant in the room here, right? For Switch 2. So while Nintendo is still supporting physical game cartridges, that eventually is going to go away too. And the video game industry, the entertainment industry in general, movie industry, it's like a Jenga, right? You know, the ones where you put the little square, the little wooden blocks, you know, like rectangle, whatever they want to call them. It's like a Jenga, and then like decisions are being made, like, oh, no physical games? Oh, just take that out and throw it away. Oh, $80 games? Just take that out and throw it away. Oh, you know what I mean, right? Eventually, when you take out so many, what happens? The whole goddamn tower comes crumbling down. That will eventually happen, I feel. Don't know when. Some people argue it's already happened. It's happening right now. We're witnessing it, the collapse. But it's hard to say because just a lot of people just buy digital, and to be fair, I've seen this personally. A lot of kids, because I have, like, you know, nephews and, you know, stuff like that, right? My brother's kids and his grandchildren, they play on their phones. They play on tablets. They play on, like, little cheap, like, laptops, right? Like little, like, cheap laptops. They're not even expensive. And they play Roblox. Right? That's what it's called, right? Roblox. They play that, or they'll play playing Minecraft, or maybe even not even Fortnite so much. They mainly just play Roblox, and that's all they do. They don't have experience with consoles anymore. They don't have experience with, like, holding a physical game anymore. They don't know that. That's not their life. Their life is just digital. Download the app, download this game, this phone game, and they just play that. And I see that. That's what's happening. And they're little kids, you know, they're like 5, 4, 6, you know, and they probably don't even know what a Game Boy is. They don't know what a well, they do know what a Switch is. They do know that. But yeah, it's sad. It's a sad day. It's a sad day knowing that physical video game discs are ending. It's very sad for me, being a collector, being someone who buys physical movies, which, by the way, Sony took away. Sony took away over 500 digital movie titles from people's PSNs. That's all gone. Even though you bought it. No refunds. You get nothing. You get nothing in return. They're just gone. Because you don't own it. You don't own digital. And that's my fear of Steam eventually. As much as Steam is loved and people love Steam, I buy games on Steam. you know, every once in a while. There will be a day when even that there'll be issues. I don't know what, but the guy that owns Steam, the guy that created Steam, Gabe, whatever his name is, Gabe. Whenever he retires or passes away or something, what's going to happen? You know, who's taking over Steam? Are they going to start being like, all right, guys, we're going to have to start charging, $4.99 a month for you to have access to Steam for your friends lists and all that stuff and achievements. It costs money. You know, it's just a lot. We need $5, you know, and it's only $5. Don't worry, it's $5. And then it goes up to 10, and it goes up to 15, it goes up to 20. Newell, there you go. Gabe Newell. So that's my fear on Steam, because they have no competition other than, I guess, the only other thing I use is GOG. Because there's no digital media rights on that, right? No DMR, DRM. There's none of that on there. So you buy the game on GOG and you have the installer. So you can install the game from the installer offline. So it's the equivalent of like having an old PC game disc, right? And you just plop it into your disk drive and then you download the game from the installer that's on the game disc plus the game files on the game disc for the PC. So yeah. I don't know what else to say, right? The dead horse girl has been beat many times, or the dead horse has been beat, not the horse girl. Analogy is wrong. Hold on. I just wanted to show a little example here of the slow decline, the slow collapse, the slow demise of physical games, discs. So let me pull out PlayStation 1, Parasite Eve. Right? Open it up. And you are greeted with a physical game disc and then an instruction booklet. Or a game manual, I should say, right? The game manual. There's a lot of stuff in here, right? And there's like the credits, it has pictures, it has lore, it has a lot of stuff, right? Has the registration card and all that. It's cool, right? You get a lot of little stuff. Some of it's even in color too. And then you got also, check this out, you also have a demo disc, physical. Not all PlayStation 1 games had demo discs in them, but you know, there's a large amount of them that did. And you know, we got multiple discs, right? I sent you a picture I saw on Twitter. Perfectly sums it up. All right. And then I'll take a look at that. And then you have PS2. Final Fantasy X. I just grabbed it. I don't know. Final Fantasy X2, right? Colored physical disc. An instruction booklet, like manual. In color, by the way. Right? You got even a slot here for your memory card. Everything's still good. Everything's still good. Next generation. PlayStation 3. Killzone 2. All right? Same thing. Here's your book, your guide, whatever. Game disc. We're still good. Creation of the Blu-ray disc drive. The Blu-ray discs. Paid off for Sony, that's for sure. People were buying PS3s just for the purposes of playing their movies, their Blu-ray movies. Even though they weren't even into video games, they were just buying it because it was cheaper buying a PlayStation 3 over a Blu-ray player. Blu-ray players were very expensive. PlayStation 4. Next generation. This is Uncharted 4. Open it up. Well, there's the game disc. And that's not an instruction booklet. That is just advertisings, right? Sometimes you're even lucky to get this. Sometimes it's just like this, right? So this is already the demise of the instruction booklet, the game manual, during the PlayStation 4. And then, I know, it's depressing, right? The slow demise. And then we got Saros, which is one of the newer, exclusive PlayStation games. Because guess what? This game will never be on PC. PlayStation already backed out of PC. They've already said so. No more PlayStation exclusive single-player games on PC. Which means if you want to play any exclusive games, you got to buy a PlayStation 6 whenever that comes out, even though it's going to be digital only. And you're never going to own any of the games on that PlayStation 6. Fun times, right? But to be fair, I'm pretty sure that they'll also have it on PlayStation 5 because the cross generation is going to be intense. So what you have here is, the game disc, and then this is just a downloadable, DLC. That's all it is. Downloadable. It's just a code. It's nothing, right? This is for like pre-ordering the game, you get a download code, right? So again, nothing's really changed. Remember when they used to actually give you physical stuff for pre-ordering? That's gone. That no longer exists. But we're not done yet. We have this as well. When 007 First Light came out, I was like, oh, I'm going to buy a physical version. I refused to buy it on PC because I want to own it physically. Little did I know that if you read the fine print way down there, and see if I can even focus on that, it says internet required. See that? The entire game is not even on. Not even on this. The game disc is the game disc is on in my PlayStation 5. All right, in case you're wondering, just pretend there's a game disc in here, right? The only information, the data that was on the disc was like 2 hours of the game. So I've heard, according to people that disconnected their PlayStations from the internet. So after 2 hours, there's nothing else on the disc. You have to download the rest of the game from the PlayStation servers. So in a way, PlayStation on PlayStation 5 has already been doing disc game keys, if you want to call it. Just like the Switch 2 has been doing, the cartridge game keys and all that. And now PlayStation 6 is not going to have anything. Hey, Minato. Least physical stuff I got from pre-order was like a decade ago. The last physical stuff. Yeah, you remember that, right? Pre-ordering used to be good. It was a good thing. It was so that you could ensure that you get a physical copy of the game, right? So that you get the game to play it. Usually it was released at midnight at like a GameStop, or even like some big retail stores would have midnight releases where you would go there, you'd line up, talk to everybody, chill, smoke outside, drink some beers, talk to the ladies, the few that were there. And then you would go in and say like, I'm here to pick up the game I pre-ordered. Here you go, sir. Thank you so much. Have a good time. And then you get home, you pop it in, you play the game, you have a good time, right? That's the way it used to be. And then when you would pre-order, they would sometimes give you physical things like here's a shirt for pre-ordering the game, or here's a keychain for pre-ordering the game, or here's a poster of the game for pre-ordering the game, right? And then the corporations started to, grow a brain and be like, you know what? Digital's starting to kick off. Let's still keep pre-orders around, and you'll get nothing. You'll just get a pre-ordered, download thing for the game. No more physical stuff. It's kind of stupid pre-ordering nowadays because what are you pre-ordering? Like, they're going to go out of stock? Oh, sorry, guys. The pre-order ran out. Digital ran out. There's no more digital. It sold out. Sorry. It's come back next week. We'll have more digital games. They'll get restocked. You know, it's stupid to say, but it's the truth. That's how ridiculous it is. I still remember the day when I got Monster Hunter Generations that I pre-ordered. I was about to leave with the game happy. Then I remembered the dev letter given for pre-order. I went back, asked for it. They gave it to me and said it was the last one they had in stock in the back. Wow. the dev letter given. What was it, like a thank you or something like that? That's really cool. You got lucky there. It's a good thing they still had one in the back. Yeah, there's a lot of, when it comes to like, for instance, like GameStop, they've done a lot of like shitty stuff, right? There's no denying that. But at the end of the day, it's a place you can go and you can get a physical game, right? They're really going to be screwed now. They've been slowly trying to counter, the digital world that we're living in, that we're fixing to live completely by, releasing, by like trying to sell older games, right? But, there's still a lot of like stuff with GameStop. But yeah, I was fortunate enough to actually know the manager like pretty good, like friends, and the employees that worked at my local GameStop. So they actually hooked me up with a lot of stuff, and they would actually like give me stuff that I didn't even have to pre-order. I'd just go in there and be like, hey, Steve, hey, here, it's like, you want this stuff? That's for pre-order. Like, here, I'll just give it to you. And they would give me free posters. They'd give me free stuff. Because I was a regular, like a lot. I would go there all the time. So, they knew me very well. I knew them very well. And, they would hook me up a little bit with some stuff, which was nice. But yeah, that's all over now. That GameStop closed down, by the way. Kind of with lots of illustration letters and stuff. Ooh, that's cool. I think that's it. Oh yeah, let me check out that thing you sent me, Ozero. I mean, this is pretty much what I was showing. That's funny. 2006, Xbox 360. Wow, look, comes with the booklet. And then in 2015, this is already Xbox One. Where's the book? And then, yeah, Grand Theft Auto 6. Digital only. People saying that Grand Theft Auto 6 was actually going to get a physical release a few months after the digital release of the game. And I guess it's safe to say that that's probably made up, I think someone wrote an email to themselves saying that, there's going to be a physical release of Grand Theft Auto 6 in the near future, like 1 month after release of the digital only. Yeah, they wrote an email to themselves and they made themselves believe it. I think that's what happened. So the odds of there actually being a physical copy of Grand Theft Auto 6 is not looking too good. It's not looking likely. Some of the other good stuff you were getting to when pre-order is the metal case for the games too. The last one might be Monster Hunter World or Metro Exodus when they came out on the PS4. Minato, is Metro Exodus really good? I've played Metro 2032, 33. I played the first one back in the Xbox 360, but I never beat it. And I did enjoy what I played. That's a game franchise I've been wanting to actually give a go of, play them. I've been wanting to play those. So I like the concept of the game. Yeah. Yeah, the steel cases and all that. Collector's editions of video games. The signs were always there. Collector's editions of video games started not having physical versions of games. That started being a thing. They would literally, I think it was like Diablo 4 Collector's Edition didn't even have Diablo 4, the video game, physically in the Collector's Edition. If I'm not mistaken, I think that was one of the examples. And there's been others too, other Collector's Editions of video games that didn't even have the physical copy in the Collector's Edition. The only thing I'm happy about, the only positive thing I can get from this is that at least, thank God, that we'll be getting a physical release of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, right? Revelation. Revelation. Sorry. I was, rebirth, remake, rebirth, revelation. 2033 is the first one? Okay. Yeah. I did like 2033. I never beat it though, but I remember playing it and I did like it because that 2033 had a mechanic where you had a gas mask, right? And then you would like wipe all of, like the grime and the water and stuff off the gas mask. That was sick. I was like, dude, that's cool. I like that. It was a cool game. I should jump back into it and play it eventually. Well, chat, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I think that's all I can say about it. A lot of people have been saying different stuff already about the loss of physical video games. So I guess just to wrap it up, to summarize everything, you will own nothing and you will be happy about it, right? That's something that was said. If you are a collector, I would suggest, from a professional, non-professional collector to you, I would suggest you start looking into buying what you want soon. If there's specific games you want for your collection, because it's only going to get more expensive from here on out. And that's what happens when there's a complete end to something. And more retro physical games have been already going up in price, but now since it's really going to be over, there's going to be no more physical. Starting in 2028, prices are going to start skyrocketing. I can guarantee you, probably guarantee you, from an email that I wrote myself saying that the prices are going to go up. They're probably going to go up a lot. So I suggest you would go and get whatever you need physically now before it's too late. Same thing with probably movies as well, if you like to buy actual physical movies. Because again, the whole phrase of you will know, the phrase line, the sentence of you will own nothing and be happy about it really comes down to pay for subscriptions. Give us money every month. That's what that means. And they'll just, it's a sad day. It's a very sad day. All game had that of the Metro. Oh, they all have that? That's cool. That's a cool mechanic. I've been talking for 2 hours already. I didn't hit my quota of talking for 2 hours. I guess that's it, chat. Unless there's something else you want to bring up to my attention, that's the only thing I can think of at the top of my head. And I don't want to go off on a tangent as even more from what I've already have begun on the video game industry, the movie industry. It's just all bad news around. Video games are getting more expensive in general. Components, hardware is getting more expensive in general, right? And even if you're like, screw consoles on PC only, I mean, you're screwed too. You are also screwed. Because hardware, SSDs, processors, I mean, freaking just RAM, everything is more expensive. And you can blame AI for that. It's fine. AI is responsible for it, but it's not just AI isn't the only reason why all that's happening. It's just accelerating everything, because eventually it will get to the point to where PCs in general, game consoles in general, are going to be so out of reach that you're going to be talking about thousands and thousands of dollars just to own a console, a PC to play games. You're not even gonna be able to own this stuff anymore. Not even will you not own video games. You won't even own the things that plays the video games anymore. Because it's just priced out of your budget. It's not recommended to, some people can't even, there's people in the world in third world countries that can't even buy a video game for $60 because that's their whole month's paycheck. It's you got to think of other people like that. So, when people in first world countries that have money, we don't have enough money anymore to buy these expensive consoles, and eventually, we're going to be all priced out. Only the super rich or the people that want to get into super debt, right? Because of all this buy now, pay later, right? Buy your console now and pay us $2,000 later, right? Is that going to be PlayStation 7 eventually? Give us $2,000 for PlayStation 7 and we'll give it to you right now. I mean, but you'll give us the $2,000 over time, right? Everyone's going to be in so much debt. It's going to be insane because people already kind of do that already, right? There's buy now, pay later all over the place. I'm getting too much into a tangent. I'm just going to stop talking about it. That's my thoughts of the death of physical disc games and possibly even disc movies. And it's a sad day.
Webcam activated.